Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and this is just a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. All right, rock stars, let's get politics out of the way. It's not really much to talk about. I feel like I already talked about this, but I'll update you guys. Since the last time that I was on top of the blogs, I was going to say Bernie Mac. Bernie Sanders has thrown his name into the hat for the race for the Democratic, nomination. He will be running, if all goes as he expects, he will be running against y'all stupid ass President Donald Trump in, excuse me, in the next presidential election. And people are excited. I don't know if it garnered the excitement that he was hoping for. I think everybody is just kind of, well, not everybody, because he actually still has quite a few supporters out there. Are you guys feeling the burn? Or have we been there and done that? I didn't vote for Bernie Mac. Why I keep wanting to call him man Bernie Mac? God rest his soul. I miss Bernie Mac to death. But I didn't vote for Bernie Sanders the first time. And, time will tell if I'm going to be voting for him this second go around. We'll just have to see. But again, I don't feel like any of the candidates so far have struck my fancy. But we still got some time, and like I said, I'm trying to read up on everybody and see where my most educated vote will count. So we'll see what goes on with Bernie Sanders. Kamala Harris, she pissed y'all off last week. Actually, I think it happened the Monday that I remember being in the car on my way to work and hearing her interview on the Breakfast Club and her talking about, amongst many other things, but her just kind of trying to relate to, the people that are listening to the Breakfast Club, trying to be on y'all level. At some point, they asked her if she smoked weed. Smoking weed is legal in California. She did admit that she did when she was in college. She did inhale. And then they asked her what kind of music did she listen to in college. Asked her also at the same time, what did you listen to when you were high? So both of these questions kind of came at her at the same time. And she went on to say that she listened to Tupac, Snoop Dogg. Well, you know how social media is. Y'all motherfuckers will be on somebody's ass. We gonna check these dates. Social media got people's foot on their necks 100% of the time. So y'all went and checked and realized that she graduated in the mid 80s or something like that from college, and that Snoop and Tupac and all their albums didn't come out until early 90s, mid 90s, somewhere up in there. So now it was just sort of like, so when was you listening to it, Kamala? In her defense, the questions came at the same time. Were you listening to it in college, or were you listening to it when you were high? Okay. If you were high and you weren't in college, or possibly that's when she was doing it, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But for some people that is a red flag. Like, is she just trying to throw out the most notable names in hip hop just so that this generation, right now will trust her and feel like, oh, she listens to Tupac, now we gonna vote for her? People say she was pandering, or just not being truthful. It's not that big of a deal, because it's not, but it does show some, for some people it does show some character. If you lie about something as simple as that, then what else could you be lying about? So that's what's going on in the politics of this here week. I don't really want to spend too much time on it, because we got a whole lot of other shit to talk about today. So that's it though. Politics. Y'all got anything else on it? Y'all leave it below. Guys, so if you haven't watched my Top of the Blogs extra on Jussie Smollett, y'all go watch that. I broke it out. I was going to do it in this video, but it was just way too long, so we had to break it out and put it in here. Alright, you guys, so let's move on with our next topic. Third trimester Tristan, child. What the fuck is going on? See, this is what I'm talking about right here. The world is going damn crazy. Even though I shouldn't be surprised about Tristan, because he has proven to us that either one, he don't give a fuck Or 2, he don't want to be with Chloe. Or 3, his ass is just addicted to fucking around with other women. Or 4, all of the above. I think it might just be all of the above. He's an NBA player. I would be willing to bet that most NBA players cheat. However, well, they have at some point. As you get older, you start to realize what's important. You have a family that's dependent on you. You start to grasp on to what is at your house, and then you become the right kind of person. Okay, we've seen that happen with a lot of our basketball players that I won't talk about right now. Okay, they not what they were. They grew up. When you know better, you do better. Okay, but Tristan, for some reason, the nigga ain't got that concept, and I think it's because he has no intentions of being with any one person, which is fine. Like, if you don't want to be with somebody, then don't fucking be with them. Shit. So we had this whole conversation about third trimester Tristan back when Chloe was going into labor, and we found out that he was fucking around like a couple of days before she was going in labor, and we saw him having a whole shut-in weekend at this hotel, him and this girl going back and forth in and out, had videos of him kissing whatnots, okay, with some other girls at this different club and all of that. I thought for sure that they were going to break up after that, but they didn't. All right, Chloe had her baby, and I'm assuming the nigga got on hands and knees and pleaded and begged and, said that he was sorry. And even though it was all over social media and she had just had this baby and she was moved out to Cleveland away from her family and all of what she knew, trying to make this shit work with this cheating ass nigga, okay, she went against her better judgment, I guess, and she decided she wanted to work it out. She wanted her family to work, okay, and you can only respect if that's the decision that a woman makes. You can only respect that. Now, we would see them afterwards. She had the baby. She didn't really look happy, but we would see them every now and then. They'd be going to lunch or something. And, you figure they was trying to work on it. And I gave her that space. I still was just like, this nigga here, the fact that he was so blatant with it, I didn't feel like he had been, was healed from his cheating ways, but I was like, if she like it, I love it. Okay, so we would see them in pictures, but never really the same way that they had been. But seemed like the whole family had forgiven him. They had continued to follow him. He was on the show, and then it was all good. But then I started to not really see him in any of the pictures anymore. And I just kind of thought to myself, like, well, maybe they were just phasing the relationship out. We would see pictures of Chloe and the baby for sure, but not too many of him. And I was just like, okay, yeah, they're breaking up and she's going on with her life quietly and just with her and her baby. And he, she was still in Cleveland, but I just kind of had felt like maybe they were breaking up. Well, come to find out, no, they didn't break up. They just been busy and hadn't been around each other, I suppose, or in pictures with each other, but they were very much still together. And then it comes out around Valentine's Day. This nigga sure picked dates to do some shit, don't he? He had this party at his house, and there were a bunch of people there. And Jordan Woods was there. Now, Jordan Woods is Kylie Jenner's best friend. They've been best friends since like middle school or high school. That doesn't say too much because Kylie is only, 21? So 4 years, 5 years. But you meet some of your best friends sometimes in those formative years. So, all right, this is her best friend, supposed to be like her sister. She was at this party with, oh boy, and a bunch of other people, and supposedly they were all on each other, all in each other's lap, or she was in his lap and she was kissing him, and supposedly she went to his room and stayed in his room until 7 o'clock the next morning. And we can assume they wasn't in there playing motherfucking Uno. Okay, I mean, that damn game had to be really, really something for her to be in there all night. And of course, people, even though they confiscated phones, supposedly, people saw very clearly, what was going on, and people was reporting back, and it came on Hollywood Unlocked, that they said that she was messing around with Tristan. This story makes absolutely no sense, and it almost has my cat eye awakened. It almost makes me feel like it's so way out of a story that it can't be believable because of a few things. First of all, Jordan is good friends with the family, has been around for years, okay, and definitely very much in that in that community. I even remember seeing her talking to Will Smith and calling him Uncle Will, and so she's been around in that whole little Hollywood, Malibu, all of the stars that live up in Westlake area and Chatsworth Hills and all of them, where the money, the affluent about that Calabasas and everything. So the girl has been friends of the family all this time, out of all of the dings to climb up on, and there's plenty of ding out there to be had. Why on earth would this child try to fuck around with Tristan? Now you could say maybe that she was drunk and, but you guys got eyes on you. And it's not like this is Tristan, this is Chloe's man. What kind of fool you got to be to just do something like this and let everybody see it? So now it's starting to make me wonder, like, y'all wouldn't be pulling our coattails like this, because Chloe and Malika was on Hollywood Unlocked and saying that it was true, and that, you can't trust the hoe and all of that. And, we didn't see Kylie never really commented. We haven't really seen Jordan comment on anything. I'm not quite sure if she was the sacrificial lamb, if they, all paid this money for this to happen, as, for publicity, if the show is coming up, or if this really indeed happened. But it makes absolutely no sense, because even if this girl is 20 years old, you ain't got to be no fucking genius to know that you done fucked up your money. Okay, because Kylie has brought her on into, the cosmetics thing, and they have like a best friend line and all. Why? Why would you go against your best friend who is in line to be a billionaire? You've been living in her house. I'm sure she's taking care of you. Like, what kind of fucking sense does this make? See, this is what I'm talking about. If it really did happen, something's wrong with these fucking kids today. Okay? Who messes up their own damn bag like this? Alright, so I was just like, it don't make no sense. It makes no sense. For Tristan, and I do 100% believe that Tristan just love the ladies. He don't want to be with Chloe. Okay, so he willing to just kind of put it out there and don't care. Kind of like how Nick Young was with Iggy. Okay, when you do shit all out like that, you just don't fucking care. You want to be done with it, and you can't seem to shake this heifer for nothing. So Tristan is not really in the story to me. Like, cause he just, the nigga just want to fuck on folks. But Jordan is the one that I'm just like, this girl can't be this crazy, So but she ain't came out and said otherwise. And they keep on going on with the story and saying how Kylie is trying to figure out how she's going to proceed from here. But it just don't make no sense, y'all. It don't make no sense to me. This story right here is so weird and so strange and so crazy, and I just don't understand why anybody would fuck their money up like that. That's all. But y'all let me know what you think about it. Do you believe that Jordan and Tristan did sleep together, or did something? Or do you think that this is just another one in the Kardashian annals where they, come up with some shit right before the show is about to start for everybody to watch? Because they not above it. They love a scandal to get the ratings up on their show. So, Alright, you guys, what should we talk about now? The R. Kelly tapes. They're saying that a second videotape, a VHS tape, has been given to the police. It's in police custody. That shows very clearly Robert Kelly having sex with a 14-year-old girl. And the reason why they know that she's 14 is because they actually say this is some 14-year-old P word. Okay, it's so nasty I can't even say it when I'm saying it with a 14-year-old. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Somehow this video has surfaced from back in the day. They say it's very clearly in his home. So you could definitely tell it's him. It's not grainy like the last video was. I mean, it was very clear. And it has been presented to the police. All right, they say CNN has seen it, and people are saying, yes, definitely this is R. Kelly. I don't know what is taking so long. If it is definitely R. Kelly, maybe the statute of limitations, the time, you know, maybe they don't really have a victim still, even though they have this video. It's still going to come down to somebody admitting that that is them, and that he is, and I'm sure he's going to deny that that's him. And so, you know, because as quickly as they done sucked up Jussie, honey, R. Kelly's still out there alive to fuck another day. Not quite sure why, and R. Kelly's story is so way worse. You would think that they would have hurried up and, you know, the grand jury would have indicted him and they would have arrested him, but none of that has happened yet. But they're saying that, you know, you can expect it to come. I was just like, well, I guess we'll see. All right. And then they're saying there's even a third tape that they're trying to get their hands on. You know what? There's probably 20 tapes, because everybody said that he used to record all of his sex sessions. So I'm sure that they have a lot of that. Somebody is sitting there holding onto these tapes, probably was trying to get money out of them. It didn't work. And so now, you know, they done turned it over, and they slowly turn it over. That person probably should be in trouble too. It's just like you sitting on all of this evidence, and what you doling it out one by one like it was some fucking piss candy or something. You know, I'm just confused as to why it's taking so long for something to happen to R. Kelly when it involves something as horrible as child molestation, rape, you know, and sodomy and all of this. So we'll see, but they definitely going to get R. Kelly. Okay, come hook or crook. It might not even be on rape charges or anything that has to do anything sexually. The same way that Al Capone went to jail for tax evasion, the same way that O.J. Simpson went to jail for robbing, you know, these guys for his own shit, his own paraphernalia. It's going to be the same, or memorabilia, I should say. It'll be probably the same for R. Kelly. We're going to have to figure out a way that we can get him, but it might not even be what he is most known for, the shit that he's done. But they got their child. They really trying to get to him. So we'll see. But yeah, there's a third tape. And like I said, there's probably way, way more. But I guess he could mount the same defense. If people don't, you know, if you don't participate or cooperate, I should say, with the police, then, you know, if they don't have a case against you, then the shit falls apart. And I think that's kind of what they was hoping with Jussie, that he would just stay away and not say nothing, and that the police wouldn't have any proof. But, you know, that Jussie shit is just, so crazy. But yeah, that's it. We'll keep our good eye and see if anything finally happens to R. Kelly. But some people seem to think that they may have him this time. All right, you guys. So your boy Steve Harvey had Monique on his talk show the other day, and they had, you know, they had talked about it and showed little clips of it on Instagram and on social media, where he was just trying to, you know, spit some game at her, I suppose. And he was just kind of fussing at her about her approach to her feeling like she was blackballed by Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. I'm not quite sure why Steve Harvey is even entering the conversation at this point, because it's been discussed already. Tyler Perry has already kind of admitted, and so did Lee Daniels, that she was blackballed. So that is established, and we got all of that. Okay, now she came out, she was doing, you know, mounting her whole thing against Netflix, and some people, you know, supported her in that, and other people felt like, you know, she was full of shit or whatever. But like I said, we've already discussed all of this, and Monique has gotten her residency in Vegas, and even though Monique wears on my nerves, I think Monique looks great. I think Monique is a very talented actress and comedian. I think that she will do well if she can just move on with her life. Like, that's harsh for some people to understand when I say move on, but it's just like, what else do you want to happen? All right, what else do you want to happen? The best way to prove yourself is for you to be successful, and it's still clear that people are out there willing to give Monique that chance. So my whole thing is not to dwell on it and keep, just bitch, get successful and prove these motherfuckers wrong that way. And I think that's what she was trying to do. But now all of a sudden Steve Harvey wants to bring up this conversation again, and it's like too little too late. Of course, he admits that he should have reached out to her, but he's so busy. He got to make sure that his wife stays happy. Okay, this motherfucker got 10 jobs like the Haymans, because he has to make sure that his woman is able to live the lifestyle that she has lived thus far in order to keep her and all his damn kids that he done adopted of hers. So he ain't had time to be fucking around with Monique. But now he wants to have this conversation with her. That conversation to me was so heated that you needed to have that at the house, because the shit that you was saying, that shit was not supposed to be for TV. That was supposed to be for at the house. But for him to get up there and tell her that she can't stand on integrity, and that if you want to get paid, because this is basically what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying integrity is all good and shit, but he got a family that's dependent on him. Okay, and no truer words have been spoken. He can't go out here and be on integrity and sacrifice the fact that his family won't have money, the access to the money that he provides them. Okay, so sometimes integrity got to go out the fucking window. Okay, because he trying to get paid, and he meant that shit. The audience was pumping him up and clapping and all of that, but when you sat down and got past all that, yelling and screaming in her face and pointing in her face like this, and really listen to what he was saying, it was bullshit. You gonna fuss at this woman for having integrity, whether or not it was right? She felt this way about it. That's her morals that she's standing on. Okay, and you telling her, no, you can't stand on morals, you got to get paid. And we already know that Steve Harvey thinks that way. He's said it plenty of times. He's proven it plenty of times. We know many things that Steve Harvey has done. Most notably, everybody always brings up the Bernie Mac thing. But Steve Harvey, money is the first thing. That's why he's working to fucking death out there. He wants to get the money, and that's fine if that's what you want to do, but you can't be fussing at this woman for having some integrity and wanting to stand on it. Now, of course, it probably did fuck her up. She's blackballed. Okay, you're going against some very powerful people, but you got to make the decision. If that's what you want to do, then you go ahead full steam. That's what Monique has committed herself to. And even if I don't agree with what she did, you can't help but respect that that's how she feels, right? So I was just like, yeah, Steve Harvey meant it. Now all of a sudden he's saying that he misspoke. He didn't mean that. I know you meant exactly what you said. It's just now people was backlashing and saying, you look stupid, like you was cooning out there, and everything for the dollar, the almighty dollar, and not really, and this just proves what people have said about Steve Harvey. So now of course he's backtracking and saying, no, he's always been a man of integrity and he stood on it and all of. I was just like, Steve, boy, you was feeling yourself when you was saying, and your audience was clapping, wasn't you? And you meant that shit. So that's it, child. Let me move it on along to the next one. I've been out here way too long. Alright, you guys. Takashi 6ix9ine. They say that he snitched, that he told on his whole crew, that he worked out a deal with the FBI and the police and whoever else and got them all hemmed up in jail right now, and that he, in exchange for all the information that he will give against his crew, even if he was involved in said illegalities of drug trafficking, robberies, and even almost attempted murders with these shooting at people, and even though he was involved either physically or setting these things up, the fact that he is giving up the information on his crew, that he will be given no jail time, or the time that he is serving will be the time that he will have to serve, that they are going to release him after his case, and that he will be in witness protection. it's just unfortunate to me. All right. People are all like, well, what do you expect him to do? At least these young kids are. You know, what do you expect him to do? I mean, he's got a family and I expect you to not do the shit if you cannot pay the time. If you cannot pay the time, do not do the crime. Okay? Now, you've been ace boon coons and been wrapped up in all this shit with your homeboys, and then you turn around and tell, and you don't get any time. Like, where is that Gucci? Where is that good where you get to tell on people for the same shit that you did, but you don't get in trouble for it? That's just like when you was little and you and your brother and your sisters got into some trouble and you the only one got a fucking whooping. It's terrible to me. You know, people are like, so you would rather him tell on? No, I would rather you not do it to begin with. There's something in this world called, even thieves have a line that they won't cross. We'll handle that shit on the streets. Okay, but we not gonna tell on somebody because we was just as guilty as anybody else. When you can snitch out or when you rat out people, like, to me, you lose all. I have no type of respect for you. None. Now, this new generation don't really care about those kind of things because now it's just all about, you know, you having to save yourself. But see, that's what I said, where we've gone, you know, we've done things differently for these kids now. They don't think the same way. Because what I'm saying is, if you're going to be a criminal or you're going to be this gangster and you're going to be hard and all of that, then you need to be able to see it all the way through. Okay, do your time, get out. But he not trying to do that. Now, I don't know what kind of life he gonna have when he get out. You got witness protection. He's one of those ones that thrives on the attention of people, you know, wanting to put out music and all of that. He's got tattoos and rainbow hair and shit. I mean, all of that'll probably get taken away, but it's just like he's one of those ones that thrive on that type of attention, but you're gonna be in witness protection. Now you're gonna be trying to come back around, these motherfuckers gonna get you. So now it's gonna be like, well, is he just gonna fade off into the sunset, or, you know, is he gonna come back eventually? Like, I don't see how this is gonna play out well for him, but I mean, I guess we'll see. But it's unfortunate. Like, he's a rat to me. He's a snitch. And people who are from the streets are never going to respect him ever again. And he better be careful for him and his family. Okay, his baby mama out there giving all the terms of his you know, his release and all that. It's just like, girl, you guys are asking for it. This is a whole different generation, child. It is a whole different generation. But yeah, your boy done told on everything. Okay, old snitch ass nigga. Ooh, he gonna be out soon, y'all. We'll see what happened to him then. And lastly, you guys, congratulations, I guess, are in order to Tamar for winning Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. I'm only doing this because you guys wanted me to talk about it, because I'm just thinking to myself, like, I didn't watch the show, never really watched the show. I thought that people were voted off weekly on the show. It's a completely different thing now. I mean, I was just so lost, but I guess it was a big deal that she won. Everybody's like, she's the first African-American woman, first woman to walk through the door, or something. I was just like, okay, I mean, yes, okay. She wins $500,000, I suppose, and they say that she's going to buy a home for her and her baby. Where is she living now? She ain't got no house. And $500,000 don't go nowhere in Los Angeles. I mean, you can't even get my daddy house, and my daddy is in the neighborhood. But anyway, she won and she's happy, and they say that it's opened new doors for her. I think she's going to be on The Bold and the Beautiful, or was it The Young and the Restless? I think it was The Bold and the Beautiful. She's going to have a guest star spot on there. And I guess CBS, because it was a CBS show, they're going to be doing some things with her, you know, as the winner. But I mean, good for Tamar. I mean, she acted a complete fool on there and showed her ass and did the most, and you know, kept it interesting for her fans, and even her and Candy was able to bury the hatchet. You know, I even saw Candy said that she loved her. I said, oh, look at this, child. I mean, a whole lot happened on the show, didn't? But yeah, I mean, congratulations to Tamar. She's not my cup of tea. I prefer to just listen to her music and that's it. But, you know, do what you gotta do. Okay, you went on the show. you won the show. Congratulations to Tamar Braxton. All right, rock stars, that's it. We do this every single week. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.